And hello again, wrestling fans, and welcome to another edition of the Scumbags Wrestling Prediction League. I am here live in Windsor, Ontario. Just getting ready for Double or Nothing. It's happening at 8 o'clock today on the Fight Network, or Fight TV app, should I say, for $55 here in Canada, $20 in the UK, and I believe it's $40 in the United States. And I want to thank everybody for joining us. We are live, as I said, on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, and available on Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or anywhere else you get your podcasts from. Tonight, as I said, is the Double or Nothing by AEW pay-per-view happening. It is the third annual one. The first one was the birth of AEW, and we are looking at basically the second anniversary, the starting of the third year for AEW. Really big card lined up today, and as I said, this is the Prediction League preview. I'll bring up the rules for the Prediction League, where you can always register at scumbagswrestling.ca. It is presented by Coolbet. Stay cool, bet responsibly. There's 2 tiers of play, $25 for pro, or a fun side is for free. You can always get your predictions in. The $25 side of things gets that championship belt that we always display on our shows as part of the Predictions League, and it has been created by Undisputed Belts. Scoring for this is 10 points for a win, 5 points for a tie or a no contest, or a non-loss, especially in triple threats or multiple person matches, and 0 points for a loss. There's also points given away for the tiebreakers when we have to figure out who won, and we ask for the amount of time that the main event takes, and the closest one to earns the extra 5 points. And as I said, Coolbet, stay cool, bet responsibly, sponsors all our shows. So we want to thank them and encourage you to go check them out. Now, this card has 10 matches in total, including the match for the buy-in, and that is Serena Deeb. I'll bring that picture up. Serena Deeb versus Riho. And I actually don't have that photo up here. Anyways, this is for the NWA Women's Championship, and Serena Deeb is champion, going against the former AEW Women's Champion Riho. I do not see Riho picking up the win in this. She hasn't been around too much, and when she's traveling, I think between Japan and the United States, it makes more sense to keep the title on Serena Deeb. So I'm going to go with Serena on that one. Now, looking at the rest of the card, we have, let's go with Paige versus Cage. Hangman Adam Page taking on Brian Cage. Taz is supposed to be in the corner of Brian Cage, but as we saw this past Friday on Dynamite, he has been duped into having the rest of Team Taz stay in the locker room. I think that's going to go against Brian Cage, and Hangman Page will be the winner of this match. And I think that's going to be the end of Brian Cage in the Team Taz, as the rest of Team Taz will turn on him, is my prediction, and we'll see maybe a new member of Team Taz, or even Will Hobbs, take out Brian Cage, the Machine. So I'm going with Hangman Adam Page. Now we'll move on to Cody versus Anthony Ogogo. Cody Rhodes cut a big promo on the fact that he is a proud American, much in the line of his father, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes did, and he's even going to go by the American Dream Cody Rhodes tonight for this event as a one-time only thing. However, it has been mentioned that Anthony Ogogo, one of the members of the Nightmare Factory students who has broken away from Cody, is also suffering from a bruised or broken rib that happened this past week while training. So it already has a go on a disadvantage, not only physically, but also, as we know, just with his talent wise, he is an underdog compared to Cody with a lack of experience. They're trying to make Anthony Ogogo into a British bad guy, almost starting the UK versus US thing. They had him drape the Union Jack over top of Cody, and that sparked the promo from Cody. I don't know if it's going to go over too well, just doing that sort of thing. But as much as Anthony is coming in as an underdog, I think for this to continue as a blood feud between QT Marshall and the rest of the students against the Rhodes family, Ogogo needs to pick up the victory in this. The TNT Championship is on the line as the new champion, Miro, is going to defend against Lance Archer, who will have obviously Jake the Snake Roberts in his corner. I think it's way too early for Miro to be dropping the title, especially to Lance Archer at this time. I think it's going to be a brutal matchup between these two and hard hitting, especially with how Archer presents himself. And we've seen the Bulgarian Brute come out in Miro instead of being the best man. So I am going to pick Miro to retain the TNT Championship. We'll look at the tag team titles next, as the Young Bucks, the current AEW World Tag Team Champions, will defend against Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. Now, this one is a difference in styles between the two, as you get the high flyers in the Young Bucks and the hard hitting deathmatch style guys with the team of Moxley and Kingston. I think the Good Brothers could get involved in here. There's even been talk of maybe having former LAX members from Impact Wrestling, like Hernandez, showing up. So we'll see if that happens and an all-out brawl happens. But I do see the Young Bucks winning and retaining their championships on this. I got a comment here. Somebody asking, hi, how you doing? I am doing well today. Just a couple of personal issues going on with family, so we end up missing the podcast this week. So we're going to catch up later on, hopefully tomorrow evening, and get to the news. But I wanted to make sure we got this podcast out here with your previews, reminding everybody that since we're partway through the card, to go to scumbagswrestling.ca and you can send us your picks and compete against everybody else, earning points towards the championship belt. Now, going back into our thing, yeah, my dog just came outside, and other dogs are wanting to play with him in the neighbor's backyard. But we have Sting making his first in-ring appearance in about 6 years, teaming with Darby Allin to go against Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Now, one would expect Sting to come out on top of this whole thing, but I think this could be leading towards a eventual Sting versus Darby Allin in the future, maybe at All Out in September. We'll see what happens, but I think it's going to spell somewhat a winding down, definitely a Sting and Darby's time, and of course Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky definitely need a push. So I'm going with Sky and Page, with probably Darby taking the loss, but Sting not really being a part of the factor and get taken out. And this will start the, I'm thinking, frustration between the two. Let's go with the Casino Battle Royal. There's 20 guys that are going to be, 21, should I say, that are going to be a part of it. Paul White is supposed to be coming out for commentary. Won't surprise me if he ends up being maybe the Joker, taking off the headset and joining last, but there's been a whole lot of people speculated as the Joker. Of course, some of the participants include people like Jungle Boy, multiple members of the Dark Order. Will Hobbs is going to be there. Christian Cage, of course. Matt Sydal. So there's so many to go with. Dustin Rhodes in there, I believe, as well. And a lot of people are picking Christian Cage to come out on top. He probably is one of the front runners for sure. But myself, I'm going with whoever the to be announced is, and I don't think it's going to be the Big Show. Though it won't surprise me if Christian is the winner in that. But speaking of who the Joker is, there's been a lot of speculation on that, whether it is somebody like Daniel Bryan. His contract is finished with WWE and he doesn't have a no compete. Andrade could show up because, as well, he doesn't have a no compete and is going to be going against Kenny Omega at Triple Mania. So there's a lot of different options. I've even heard possibly Ryback, Ryan Reeves, since he's friends with Cody, being able to show up. So that spot, the Joker usually goes to somebody who is just coming into the company, and that's who I'm thinking is going to do it. We've had surprises in the past, like John Moxley showing up at the first one. Last year was Brian Cage, so I think it's going to be a bigger name showing up, and that's going to be in the Casino Battle Royal, which won't surprise me also if that's the opening match after all the pyro and everything goes live. We are going to have a full house at AEW at the Daly's place. I guess the other night on TNT for Dynamite Friday night at 10 o'clock, they had only the lower part of Daly's place full. The upper two levels were not full. So this will be a big crowd full at Daly's place and should really be energizing the whole place. We saw what they were doing the other night with singing Judas for Chris Jericho and everybody coming out. I'm going to go with the women's championship. We just saw a new title presented to Hikaru Shida the other night. It's a bigger version, more gold, more bling added to it. But she's taking on Dr. Britt Baker, and we've seen Britt from a bunch of different injuries happening, and also the build-up, the tooth and nail match that might need to be forgotten about. A cinematic spectacular that was, but they've done a really great job building up Dr. Britt Baker, and she's finally getting her own action figure that was revealed yesterday as well. But I do see, as much as I am a fan of Hikaru Shida, I'm going to go with Dr. Britt Baker being the new AEW Women's Champion. Then we'll go with the AEW Championship match. It is for the triple threat. We have AEW champion Kenny Omega defending against Pac and Orange Cassidy. Pac and Kenny will definitely have more hard-hitting stuff going on. Orange is definitely there as a joke, comedy relief, I think. But they did do a good job building him up when he feuded with Chris Jericho. I do not see Pac or Cassidy end up winning because Kenny's still doing his belt collector gimmick, and I actually see Pac taking the loss in this match and making Orange still look good in a losing effort. And maybe we'll see Orange Cassidy against Kenny Omega in the future, one-on-one against each other. So I do see Kenny retaining the title. I'm not seeing that as the main event of tonight's show. What I do see as the main event for tonight's show is Stadium Stampede. Stadium Stampede 2 is happening with the Inner Circle doing their second one, taking on the Pinnacle. And if the Pinnacle win, the Inner Circle will break up. This one's probably going to be more hard-hitting than comedy. Sorry, guys, if you're hearing all the dog noises. They're having fun between the 2 yards. But, yeah, so they said that Blood and Guts was the start of the storyline and instantly went to the Stadium Stampede. Ideally, you would think that the Inner Circle is going to win, But myself, I'm going to go with the Pinnacle because to see all the members of Inner Circle have to break up and go their separate ways, they can still have feuds with the Pinnacle, and I think it'll culminate to the end point being Jericho getting the victory over MJF, even though he should be actually passing the torch to MJF, just the way things are going and how AEW and Chris Jericho get booked around there. That should be the end game, but yeah, I don't see that happening. I see Jericho coming out on top and going for the world title, which then he's never been a world champion as a face. And I think that's what they're looking to do for Chris Jericho in the future, is get him to that point. So that looks like the whole card for tonight. And like I said, that's going to start tonight at 7 o'clock for the buy-in, or 7:30. I think it's 7 o'clock for the buy-in, and then 8 o'clock will be the main card. It's on Fight TV app. It's also available on regular pay-per-views and anywhere else you get your AEW content from. I believe it's $40 in the US, $55 here in Canada, and $20 in the UK. So that's always great if you can end up finding a way of getting it that way. But yeah, so just run down my picks. I'm going to just put them back up. I got Heyman Paige taking the victory over Brian Cage. Miro retaining over Lance Archer. Anthony Gogo beating Cody Rhodes. Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page beating Sting and Darby Allin. The Young Bucks retaining the tag team titles over Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. Hikaru Shida, unfortunately, seeing her one-year title reign end at the hands of Dr. Britt Baker, becoming the new women's champion. Kenny Omega retaining the World Heavyweight Champion, and we might even see that could be where Andrade shows up, because they're going to start hyping up for the August show of Triple Mania and having any cross-promotion going on there. But Moose could also show up because he wants to get the title, and they're doing stuff with Impact Wrestling coming up on an Impact Plus event, I think next month, just before WWE Hell in a Cell. So be on the lookout for either Moose or Andrade to show up at the end of that one. I'm going to go with the surprise guest to be the winner of the Casino Battle Royal, and if not, it's going to be Christian Cage for sure. It's the other pick there. And of course, in the main event, I'm going with the Pinnacle beating the Inner Circle to break them up and cause even more havoc, and having the Pinnacle dominating AEW for a while to come, which then we'll end up seeing their downfall. But we need to build them up as monster heels, and MJF is the only one really doing a heel job right now. So, to remind you once more before we leave, scumbagswrestling.ca. Go there, find the predictions page, and you can enter. It's presented by Coolbet. Stay cool, bet responsibly, and you can play for fun and have bragging rights, or enter the pro side for our championship belt. It's only $25 for the whole year. We're doing predictions for WWE, NXT, AEW, and Impact Wrestling. Some weeks we will have extra prizes available, and you get points by getting 10 for a win, 5 for a no contest, or in the case of tonight's triple threat, if you were to pick Orange Cassidy and Pac gets beat by Kenny Omega, you would still get 5 points for picking Orange Cassidy, and 0 points if the person you pick is pinned or submitted, is the loss in the match. So that's how you earn your points, a little bit like hockey. And want to thank you for joining us with this, and we're going to sign off right now. Hope you enjoy AEW Double or Nothing, the third one, and I think tune in tomorrow. I'm going to catch up on all the news that I missed on this past Thursday. Plus, we have This Week in History Thursdays at noon, Fantasy Warfare Tournament Wednesdays at 6 p.m., and of course our regular podcast Thursdays at 8, barring any issues. just remember, reach out to your friends and family. COVID is wreaking havoc, not just physically, but also mentally and emotionally. So reach out, make sure people are loved and cared for, and see how they're doing. And it might do you a good job as well. Enjoy wrestling and enjoy yourself. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later.